In this lesson, you'll learn about XYZ curves and reference point curves. You can open up the SOLIDWORKS file in your Infinite Skills folder for Chapter 3 and open up the SOLIDWORKS file called XYZ and reference point curve. This is a continuation of the file that we used for the previous lesson. To create a curve through XYZ points, use the Curves drop-down and select the Curve through XYZ points. If you don't have this item on your bar, you can use Insert, Curve through XYZ points. You can type in the coordinates for points on the curve if you want, or you can import the coordinates from an external file. In this case, I have coordinates already saved in an external file. If you want to use this file, it is in your Infinite Skills folder for Chapter 3. It's called curve.sldcrv. It's just a notebook file with numbers in it. If I double-click this to open it, SOLIDWORKS brings in the values. There were no units specified in the file, so it assumes whatever the units of the current document are. In this case, there are 4 points, and the 4th point is the same as the first, so it creates a closed loop. The curve itself would be a circle on an inclined plane, but because it has 3 points, and it functions like a spline, it appears to have lobes, and it's not a completely round circle. If you're trying to create an analytical shape, such as a circle, using a XYZ curve, you may need to add some additional detail in the form of more points. We can take a look at the file used to create this curve using Notepad, and it's just very simply numbers separated by spaces, or tabs in this case, in a text file. You can create this sort of data by exporting from Excel if you are creating something complex or with a lot of points. The curve we're going to look at in this lesson is the curve through reference points. In this case, instead of keying in or importing XYZ coordinate data, you will just select vertices from the actual model. These can be from sketch entities or from solid or surface geometry. Remember that the curve will change depending on the order of these points, and it will react in the same way that a spline would react if it were going through all of these points as well. You can use the closed curve option to get SOLIDWORKS to form a closed loop. These curves can be used for several purposes, such as creating wires in a complex 3D assembly, routing tubes, or other applications where you need to connect things in 3D. Remember also that you can get the same type of geometry by using a spline in a 3D sketch. The 3D sketch spline will have the advantage of being easier to control, easier to edit later on, and it won't have some of the drawbacks that curve features have when they are used by other features. Let me demonstrate one of these drawbacks. Let's create a plane normal to the end of this S. So I'll use the plane feature, select the curve itself, and come towards the endpoint and select the endpoint of the curve. Draw a circle, and I want to select the center point of the circle and then Control select the curve itself and make a pierce relation. And dimension. From here, I'll exit the sketch and make a sweep. It doesn't matter if it's a solid sweep or a surface sweep for this case. I'll select the circle and the curve. When I accept the feature, The curve feature is automatically hidden, but this is a recent development in later versions of SOLIDWORKS. Many earlier versions of SOLIDWORKS still show the curve after it has been created. If you want to select this for, say, a second feature, if I want to make another sweep, I'll open a sketch here and draw my circle, larger one this time, and then select the center point of the circle and try to control select the curve. SOLIDWORKS will not allow me to control select the curve. If I want to do this, the way I'll have to do it is to select the curve from the feature manager and then control select the center point of the circle and make a pierce. Now, in some cases, but this plane is pierced by the curve in multiple points. So this sketch could have gone over here instead. Let me demonstrate by deleting that pierce relationship. And if the circle starts out over here, and we select the curve, control select the center of the circle, add the pierce relationship, now the circle moves to a different part of the curve.